Well, there are lots of great treats at this time of year. Zucchini bread, fruitcake. But the thing that I most like to bring out at this time of the year are my balls.
Balls.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Silently Cooking, where today we're going to be taking a look at Pete Schweddy's Schweddy Balls. And you may realize that I'm doing something a little different right now. Well, 2 years ago, I got it in my head that it would be fun to imitate famous YouTube personalities during the holidays, so here we are trying our best to emulate Binging with Babish. Of course, I don't do things the way that everyone else on YouTube does, so even though Babish sports a sleek apron, I don't really own one that I could put on, so I guess here's a towel, so we'll just kind of sport that, so I look a little bit more professional in this episode. So today I'm going to try to make 2 types of Schweddy balls. I'll post the recipes to both in the description, but spoiler alert, they're both from Foodwishes. First off, are Russian tea cakes. To start off, just take 2 sticks of room temperature butter and throw in 1/3 of a cup of packed powdered sugar, 2 cups and 2 tablespoons of flour, a mere 1/8 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, some vanilla, and mix all of that up to combined. Just get in with your hands and keep working the dough until it clumps up easily. And what would a good ball be without nuts? I'm sorry, I'm talking about walnuts, about 1 cup's worth, and I had a bunch left over from Christmas, but they weren't shelled. I advise you to just purchase chopped walnuts at the grocery store and don't do what I did here and spend 15 minutes cracking them open and chopping them up. Now, this wasn't in the original recipe that I got from Foodwishes, but I like to grate in some lemon zest into my tea cakes. In my opinion, there are few things in the world that can't be improved by lemon zest. And remember, you can always use your towel to wipe down the workspace. Hey, that's actually really handy. Get yourself a large sheet pan and line it with some parchment paper. I like to fold my paper underneath to fit the exact size of the pan. And after your pan is prepared and our dough is combined, we're going to simply scoop our balls using a sorbet scoop and give them a good rolling in our hands to get them shaped into nice round balls. Now, at this point, the dough should be fairly sturdy, but just in case, be gentle. Remember, they're still very delicate. They also shouldn't spread out too much in the pan, so you can order them fairly close together. Bake them off at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until they're just barely golden. After you take them out, let them rest for only about 5 minutes. After that, we're going to roll them in powdered sugar. This first rolling isn't gonna look great, but don't worry, there is another coat coming. After the first coat, let them cool completely and then give them a second coat. If I do say so myself, that's a good looking ball. Now, before we move on to our second Schweddy ball, I'd like to take a second to recognize today's sponsor, towels. That's right, if I'm imitating a celebrity YouTuber, I've got to write in some sponsor copy, don't I? Towels. Great for cleaning up messes, drying out your hands, or just doing about anything in the kitchen. Use the promo code SILENTLYTOWELING the next time you grab a towel out of your closet and receive 15% off your next mess cleanup. Alright, it wouldn't be much of a Schweddy ball sack if we only had one type of Schweddy ball, so let's take a crack at bourbon balls. Fair warning, I've never actually made these before, but we're gonna give them a try anyway. A lot of recipes that I've seen call for rum, but I don't have any rum, plus I think bourbon balls sounds cooler. First off, pour yourself 2 ounces of bourbon and drink it, because you'll never be as popular as Oliver Babish. You think you can just come close to his genius just by imitating him? You're nothing. You'll never get more than 18,000 subscribers. Even children playing Minecraft have more subscribers than that. You're pathetic! This episode is sponsored by Knob Creek Bourbon. Just kidding, this definitely is not sponsored by Knob Creek. Anyway, most of the recipes that I found online just called for soaking brownies in liquor and then coating them in chocolate, so let's do that. After soaking brownies in bourbon, you want to give them a good mixing to make a thick paste. Mine really wasn't looking that thick, so I decided to throw in 8 more ounces of brownies to try and thicken up the paste. Wrap that up and put it in the freezer for at least 15 minutes and give it a good head start on chilling. While that's getting cold, line another sheet pan with parchment paper and scoop out our chilled dough onto a sheet. Again, not too far apart. We're not cooking these, so they're not going to spread out. After they're dished out onto the sheet, give them another half hour in the freezer before trying to roll these into balls. We need them nice and cold. They're way too sticky and loose to work with now. While they're freezing, we're going to work on our chocolate coating. Here I have a bar of dark chocolate. I cut up 2/3 of it and threw it in the microwave, stirring every 30 seconds until it was completely melted. Sure, I could have done this over a double boiler, but I'm lazy. After it's melted, throw in the last 1/3 of the chocolate that you've reserved and cut up, and then stir that in until it's melted. In theory, this should give us the perfect temperature to work with the chocolate, but I'm definitely not a chocolatier, so if anyone wants to complain about what I'm doing in the comments, feel free to correct me. Now, when you roll these into balls, you need to work quickly. I found that mine were melting as I was working and definitely needed more time in the freezer. But the sun was going down and I had dinner guests coming over, so I made the decision to just press on and live with my misshapen balls. Just give them a quick roll in the chocolate with 2 forks, throw them back onto the cookie sheet, and drizzle on the rest of the chocolate to hide your terrible chocolate craftsmanship, and into the freezer until they're completely set. Now, we've had a lot of fun here today, but what this really comes down to is flavor. I'm happy to report that the tea cakes are delicious. I knew that would be the case because I make them every year, and I absolutely love these. They're nice and soft, buttery, sweet, and thanks to the lemon zest, a little lemony. If I had to choose a favorite Schweddy ball, this would be it. The bourbon balls worried me because I had never tried working with chocolate before, so they don't look amazing, but I didn't really think you can go wrong when you're soaking anything in bourbon, at least not in my opinion. So there you have it, my take on a sack of Schweddy balls. Thanks for watching me take a break from my normal style of video to try and bring something fun in here. And Babish, just shoot me a DM on Instagram if you ever need an extra photog for a shoot, or if you need your lawyers to send me a cease and desist. Oh God.